Someday, because of you, episode 9 of Tomorrow starts with Ryan talking to June-gil about her past. Ryan shrugs off June-gil's concerns about them sharing a backstory, telling him it's all just a dream, and he's mistaken. As he leaves, Ryan looks worried. Jun-woong wakes up to find his mum and sister there, nagging him. Only, this is all a big dream too, and in reality, it's actually Ryan Gu staring at him at the desk. Concerned for his family's well-being, Jun-woong heads off to see his sister, but she's shocked to see him. Of course, his looks are different, given he's a reaper now, something Jun-woong quickly reminds himself. Min-young is a private tutor now, and their family shop is shut for personal reasons, according to the notice on the front door. So why have they shut? Well, that reason is actually Jun-woong, whom his mother is worried sick about. Because of that, she's not been looking after herself and is going through the motions. Back with the RM team, they receive a ping through for someone with the highest negative energy level at 98%. It's imperative that they look into this immediately. The trio rush into the street, where Jun-woong is sidelined by his younger sister in the middle of the road, saving a dog called Kong. Jun-woong shields her from a truck, while the Reapers rush to their rescue. In doing so, the others interject and prevent an unnecessary death. Only it turns out the dog is actually the suicide case. It's extremely rare, but Jun-woong and the gang set to work trying to find Kong's owner. The clinics don't bring up anything out the ordinary, so it seems like Kong could have been abandoned. The general health of the canine is actually pretty bad too. He's old and he doesn't have much time left. In order to try and piece together his life, Jun-woong speaks to the team in the flashback department. He's given a flash drive holding a video of Kong's life. There, he sees Kong being taken in by a young boy, and his mum after Kong's mum is left lying in the road. Kong is nearly hit by a car in the road, but he survives. His owner, a young boy called Han, is hit, but he has to have staples along his forearm. Han grows up, and through it all Kong is by his side the whole time. Unfortunately, the vet finds a tumor on Kong's kidney, and it's metastasized to the other organs. Even if they do surgery, they can't guarantee the prognosis. Han is told to prepare for the worst on the phone, and that eventually sees Kong abandoned by his owner. At least, that's the story Jun-woong runs with. The truth is, Kong actually ran away and left his owner, not wanting to burden him with the stress of all this. Han is pretty torn up about it, and looks tirelessly online for his dog. It's been 3 weeks and his boss isn't very sympathetic to his plight. This quiet time alone allows Han to reflect on those moments he neglected his pet and apologizes while sat at his laptop, crying. When he receives a message about Kong, Han comes rushing into a cafe where the Reapers happen to be. They explain that Kong tried to commit suicide and ran a long way from home to do so. Kong overheard Han mentioning that he died too if Kong was to pass away. Kong didn't want his owner to die, and as such, he decided to flee. Ryan talks the dog around though, pointing out that although it's sad to see a loved one pass away, the sense of longing is created through happy memories, and this is the last time Kong will get a final farewell with his owner. When Han shows up, he and Kong get their last goodbye together. However, a new Reaper specializing in animal souls shows up to take Kong away. Thankfully, Jun-woong and Ryan Gu convince him to leave and come back in an hour and a half, while enjoying some product placement. There's a really weird, disjointed sense of comedy here, but I'll touch on that in the review. With Kong's final moments dawning on them, Ryan convinces Han to take good care of Kong, and make the most of the little time they have left together. Kong eventually passes away in Han's arms. Han struggles to hold back his tears. The Reaper eventually shows to take Kong away, as Han clings to those final moments he got to spend with his best friend. Han heads back to work and he's feeling better about himself, wrapping this case up for good. Upon dealing with this though, Jun-woong also manages to patch things up with his mum and sister too, talking to them both individually about their plights, and offering words of wisdom. Back with the RM team, Jun-woong looks down in the dumps, but the King of Heaven comes and talks to him. She brings up how Ryan Gu and Ryan appear to be staying in this life, because they both have regrets. Speaking of which, we're drip-fed more details about the past here, as we see Ryan and Jun-gil wrestling, the former trying to stab the other. In the epilogue, Kong is reunited with Han some 50 years later when he passed. Tomorrow returns with another poignant episode, one that's almost ruined by a completely misplaced bit of comedy in the cafe. I'm not quite sure what this show is trying to do sometimes tonally, and while it absolutely nails some of its cases, like the War Veteran Memorial in episode 6, other times it completely misses the mark. Oh, you have an eating disorder. Here's a chubby woman and a slice of cake. All better. Hooray. Now, it could well be that it's just a cultural difference, and over here in the West there's far more nuance and careful writing around these heavy-handed topics, but either way, it makes Tomorrow feel like more of a mixed bag than it should. Despite that, the backstory involving Han and his dog Kong was really well written, and there's a nice little twist here too, revealing that Kong wasn't neglected, and just ran away from home instead. It's not as good as that aforementioned episode 6, but it's definitely another solid chapter, and a real tearjerker too.